So to wrap up my presentation, I'd like to share some stories, some special stories from my work over the years. And like all of us here, I too have had the privilege of meeting many special people and sharing spiritual space with them. I am deeply moved and inspired by these people. And some special stories I'd like to share today include the words from an elderly female patient. I didn't know her name as it was a random encounter. It was years ago, but I still remember her beautiful response. It was after singing wordless music by her bedside. She opened her eyes, turned to me, held my hand, and said with a peaceful tone, "Thank you. Thank you, dear. Thank you for praying for me without words." She was a dry-witted Catholic Scottish woman, tough on the outside and soft on the inside. She was in hospital for many months with a terminal brain tumour. Like a prayer with its beautiful imagery of natural places, the lyrics from a Gaelic blessing titled Deep Peace took her to a place in her mind that reminded her of her homelands in Scotland. We could reminisce with rich and meaningful memories, and we talked together at length on several occasions about her deep spirituality. Was a palliative cancer patient when I gave her a sound healing meditation with Chinese gong. I actually had a very large gong on a stand with wheels. You should have seen the people in the hospital when I walked past. Very unusual, but in my early days I did take a large gong into the hospital and Tibetan singing bowls. And she said that this sound meditation experience helped her to go so deep into stillness that she was no longer afraid of death. Family even bought some singing bowls to use at home in her palliative care, and they told me that this helped to die in peace. A young man in his 20s was suffering from insomnia, claustrophobia, and terminal illness. He was secular, but very spiritual. His temple and place of worship was at the ocean. I played soothing music to help him rest, and in the background I also played a recording of the sounds of the ocean waves, which took him to his sacred place. Memories of being with his dog by his local beach, the waves coming in, and the contentment he felt when by the sea brought him much peace in that difficult situation. A palliative Catholic patient went on a therapeutic songwriting journey with me. After she spoke about what is meaningful for her, an intuitive song was created on the fly and was recorded using her phone. After the song was born at bedside, she had clarity. She spoke with passion about what's important for her and how the song took her on a dreamlike journey of spiritual healing. Her family were informed about this song recording on her phone, and it was played at her funeral. It was beneficial in her palliative care and created lasting memories for her loved ones. And before I move into sharing some live music today with my friend and special guest, this gentleman here, Dion, I'd like to finish by sharing the story of the late Julie Edwards. Julie was a patient I worked with this year. Whilst in intensive critical care, Julie was so sick she was unable to talk or move. During those weeks in the critical care unit, Catholic chaplain Helena Sweeney played Julie a recording of the song Deep Peace that I had made. When Julie was well enough to speak, she said that listening to that song on a regular basis through Helena's visits had really helped her. I eventually met Julie in person on another ward and saw that she had a small green Buddha statue on her windowsill. Knowing that she loved Tibetan Buddhism, this inspired me to share with her a Tibetan Buddhist mantra about the female deity, Green Tara. Julie loved it. And that night when I came home, I had a lingering feeling that the mantra should be recorded for Julie. I listened to that feeling, and after a few weeks in the music studio, the mantra recording was finished. The Green Tara mantra was given to Julie when Helena, Dion and myself went to visit her at her home. And I'd like to acknowledge Julie's aunt, Molly, who's sitting there in the audience. Thank you for joining us today. And thanks for giving me permission to share Julie's story. Julie was at home, she was palliative, and so receiving the recording during this stage was much welcomed. What you're about to hear is a sample, just a sample, of the Green Tara recording I created. And I'd like to acknowledge the guest vocalists, Michelle Byrne, Cindy Ann McDonald, Mary Laslett, and musicians Dion Gallia-Wells and Corey Stewart, who generously took part in the recording for Julie. When we visited Julie at her home, I asked if she would share some words with us about her experiences with the music-based spiritual care she received. And so also featured in this audio sample is a personal testimonial from Julie herself.
I would like you to remember that the power of the music lingers long after the last note. That it lingers in your mind and in your soul, and it gives you peace of mind when you're travelling through very difficult times in your life. And you can see the journey of my pathway that there's been many times when things have been difficult and you've come along and played the music, and it's helped me on to the next part of my journey. And that to me is the most important part of your work, is that you're helping someone else to go further along the path in a peaceful, compassionate way. It helps them to do what they want to do. And I'm amazed at the number of coincidences of the meeting, one person meeting another, that led to such a positive outcome. We might never have all met each other, but we did. And I think that we were meant to meet one another and meant to do what we've done with the creative work that you've done, and with the companionship that I've experienced with this work. So I would like to encourage you all to keep working in that field, that it's just as valuable in its own way as what the doctors and the nurses do, because you're helping to heal somebody spiritually, not just physically or psychologically.
At Julie's funeral, I was joined by Dion and Michelle. We played live Julie's favourite songs, Deep Peace and the Green Tara Mantra, as part of the service. It was very special to all of us, and I'm most grateful to have met Julie and had such a meaningful experience with her.